I do. I mean, we do it all the time. Sports and
Mm-hmm.
other things. The fact that you can do it with live wrestling. If I was to explain this to somebody in 1999 that I didn't have to choose, I could just watch
Yeah.
both. They would. They'd be flabbergasted. They'd be like, "How is
Imagine
that
the
possible?"
difference that that the Monday Night Wars would have had if you had that option.
Oh, it's a whole different. That's a whole what if Marvel series you could do.
Yeah,
Seriously,
because it's like WCW would have been alive for a while longer, I would
way
say.
longer.
Yeah.
Way longer. Because you have the social media element of the fans releasing their frustration, or even showing their allegiance, whatnot. And they're not stupid. They have people that are in the offices on both sides that are checking Twitter. It's their job to be the social media people and be online and have a hand on the pulse of the fans. You don't have that booking situation, creative control nonsense that Hulk Hogan, is utilizing, because it wouldn't go over. It
Mm-hmm.
just would not work.
Yeah.
And Eric Bischoff is a smart businessman. He is a smart businessman who knows that if you have the audience telling you what they want, basically 24/7, it's an easy business model to follow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, combine that with, okay, they're into this, we'll do this to to give them what they want, but also do what we want to do too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different element that really throws the Attitude Era in a different direction, and in my eyes, makes this feel like another Attitude Era, but in a different. It's the social media era. When we look back in wrestling, okay, when we look back and when we're doing this full time, being paid, and then we get to the point where streaming service XYZ is asking us to be interviewed for a documentary about wrestling, they're going to ask us about essentially two eras, and it's going to be Attitude Era and it's going to be social media era. Those are the two most influential eras in professional wrestling, hands down. They're not going to ask
Mm-hmm.
you what happened in fucking 2011 through 2014 or 13, because 14 was okay. They're not going to ask you about really the ruthless aggression, because it was great, but that was, planting the seeds, not them fully blossoming. This era has produced more eyes for pop culture purposes that the eras after the Attitude Era and even before, really, could not even touch.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that element of it, where if it doesn't feel like a war, but I don't really know how to put it, because it's not a war.
Every time I hear you say war, I just want to be like, "You want a war?" I just hear Scott Hall in my head.